Cheer. Got my nigga Cheese in this bitch. Midwest UGK, nigga. You already know. Cheer. I said my hands on this money. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. This 100-round drummy. It'll knock a nigga right down. My dope on my scale. It be knocking watts lights out. My spot do be booming. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. My hands on this money. I'm caught up in this lifestyle. It's time for that Culture for the Streets, and you here with me, posted up on 3300 Trap Street. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hype the video up, help us get up out this shadow band. We gotta talk about being stranded on death row. Lock it in. Snoop and Daz have recently been the talk of every social media platform known to man. And the reason being business. I think it's safe to say that it's a proven fact that family and business don't mix. Yuck Mouth said it best. Family and business don't mix because family members try to treat you like a, you know what I'm saying. And looking into this situation further lets me know that family and the business ain't mixing, because even though this is your family, the way you conducting business is unethical. The expectations you have of your cousin Daz are the same expectations you would look at sideways if Daz had that expectation of you at this point in y'all careers and in life at the same time. We finna get into it, man. It's time for that Culture for the Streets. Ain't no news like street news, whether you're here for the streets or the news. You finna get this work. Lock it in. Let's get into it. Now, we got to start with Daz exposing what the issue is. And from there, I need to know how y'all feel, because I know how I feel about the situation. I feel like Snoop acting like Suge. I feel like Snoop using Suge Knight type of tactics against his own cousin. Because once we run through these videos, I'm going to break it down, but it's crazy he has this expectation of his own family. Mind you, in the rap game, majority of the time, business is conducted wrong, not in favor of the artist. And this situation that Snoop is bringing to Daz, it's just not a good business move for Daz as an individual. It's a beneficial move for Snoop Dogg as a label CEO that need this throwback music to get a big bag after spending this money.
And then I got kicked off of Deathrow again from Snoop. Got into it, and then Snoop, it's my cousin. You know, he get into it all the time. He kicked me off. So, I ain't going back this time.
Yeah, you ain't going back. So, because obviously you guys are related. So, what is that conversation like? Because you like, yo, fuck you, no, fuck you. And then you guys still got to talk later on.
He did a show and didn't take me. So I figured, like, why what's going on? He's just like, you ain't signing your catalog over to me. And I'm like, I'm keeping it. You know what I'm saying? It's worth a lot.
Okay. So,
that's what it's about, because, like, he owned the label, but I own the publishing.
And that is valuable.
Yeah, that's more valuable than the ownership. So I'm just like, I could take my bones and go, as long as my house and everything that I got is paid for, and I get the Tupac royalties, I get all my royalties, you know what I'm saying? That's just another part of just Deathrow because Tupac and Dr. Dre are separate from Deathrow. Yeah, the album came out on Deathrow. Okay. And then I got kicked off of Deathrow again.
Now, knowing what I know about this situation between Daz and Snoop, I gotta clap for Daz. Lock it in. Because Snoop want niggas stranded on death row, bruh. It's plain and simple. Because, okay, you only had to break bread with what the revenue that's being accumulated since you bought Death Row. But to emphasize on the since you bought Death Row, Snoop is not a billionaire. Snoop is not Diddy. Snoop is not Jay-Z. Them niggas was only billionaires because of the brands that they was attached to. right? Record labels that was successful and have successful catalogs are worth over $1 billion. So if y'all think Snoop was worth or had or has $1 billion, you a damn fool, right? Secondly, Snoop had help. He clearly stated this in an interview before. I think it might have been on Drink Champs. Quote me if I'm wrong in the comments. But he definitely needed help to acquire Deathrow. And if at this time, most of the artists on Deathrow own the catalog that they had on Deathrow, Snoop ain't making no money like that. Daz just said, Dr. Dre catalog, Tupac catalog, separate catalogs, right? So take these catalogs out the equation as far as Deathrow catalogs go. All you have is Snoop's albums and what would be out there of the Dog Pound and Daz's first album, as he said. You take Daz's album out the equation, and then you take certain songs that Daz played a part in production on out of the equation. Really, all you have is Snoop's albums. So what is Deathrow really worth after you done spent all this money on this label? You don't have no new artists, nigga. So you ain't making no new money. What do Snoop decide to do? Be petty. Don't take Daz along. If you ain't taking Daz along, I'm pretty sure, well, I don't know if he took Corrupt or not. But one question about this Corrupt shit, I want to ask y'all, because I seen it when Deathrow, separate people left Deathrow back in the day. Corrupt left too, and then he came back and he stayed. He fell out with Snoop and Daz. Now we see Daz having a problem with the business on Deathrow, and he left or got kicked off per se. But Corrupt's still over there. So is Corrupt still over there because his albums wasn't as big and impactful, so his royalties isn't as big as a Daz and a Tupac and a Snoop would be? So he's sitting over there collecting them pennies he get happily? Or is just Corrupt just unloyal? Because keep in mind, he went back in the day, and it was an issue with the Dog Pound as a whole. It was an issue with the East Siders too, because they looked at Corrupt crazy by going back to Snoop, Suge, knowing Suge did them like that. Now we see Suge, not Suge, but Snoop acting like Suge, and you're using certain tactics to make a nigga feel like, well, I'm missing off all this new money, because show money is new money, even if you're doing old songs. But he has dropped albums on Deathrow since it has re-arose, however you want to say it, since it came back, right? And to hear him say Snoop told him he ain't been bringing him on those shows because he need to sell him his catalog is crazy, because that shows me that Snoop ain't really making no money like that, because nigga, if you was, you wouldn't have to fuck over your cousin business-wise in order for you to capitalize correctly. So you telling him sell everything he worked for over so your check can be right. Nigga, didn't nobody tell you to go try to buy Deathrow in the first place, but you did. You got to work whatever hole you in. You got to work yourself up out that as a CEO. You cannot take advantage of your artists, most importantly your family, because Daz ain't just an artist over there, your family, bruh. And you treating him like you would treat a regular artist, business-wise. You acting like Suge. Let me know what y'all think in them comments, though, because do y'all think Daz was smart by knowing the business and knowing what to acquire as far as his participation in the industry? That way his future was stable and comfortable. Because it's a lot of artists that did a lot of legendary things and had legendary moments in the game, bruh. And they don't get to enjoy the fruits of their labor the same decades later, because their careers was set up in a fashion for them not to win in the first place, even though it looked like they was winning. So in this situation, I'm not going to side with Snoop. Snoop is wrong. Snoop is wrong as fuck. Lock it in. It's time for that culture for the streets. Ain't no news like street news. Whether you're here for the streets or you're here for the news, you gonna get this work. And Snoop gonna get this work. Because it's a lot of people in the world that look up to Snoop, and not necessarily for the individual he is outside of the industry, but the person he was inside the industry. So to see your relative, your cousin, speak on how you try to take advantage of him speaks volumes, bruh.
So it's like, all the albums that Snoop had on Deathrow, and it deplenished now. He only got 3 albums on there. Okay. All them records, everybody took their records back. So, he only got Doggy Style, Dog Father, Murder Was the Case, The Dog Pound, which I'm coming to get, and my solo album. After them, you only got about 3 albums left on there.
Yeah. So can you explain for the average fan or listener how this went? Because he acquired the rights to Deathrow.
Yeah,
and then
but he didn't have to pay us from the past. He has to pay us from when he acquired it, from 22 on up.
Okay, so everything from there. And then along with the catalog coming over, you guys had the option to take your portion of the catalog?
No, he still had the portion of the catalog. I just filed for my copyright reversion.
Got it.
Which means everything revert back to me after 35 years. Some people don't even get to see 35 years.
Yeah.
And other people like that. So, like that, I'm requiring getting my shit back.
Yeah.
So it's like, all the albums that Snoop had on Deathrow, and it deplenished now. He only got 3 albums on there. Okay. All them records, everybody took their records back. So, he only got Doggy Style, Dog Father, Murder Was the Case, The Dog Pound, which I'm coming to get, and my solo album. After them, you only got about 3 albums left on there.
After them 3 albums, after all of that, he go back and retrieve far as ownership. Snoop only gonna have his albums over there. So how much money is you really making? When right now, today, Snoop's not getting billions of streams off of them old CDs from Deathrow. He's just not. You might hear him being played in movies. You might hear occasional play on the radio, stuff like that. Occasional commercials, stuff like that. But it's not making a lot of money. So to see Snoop do what he's doing right now is sad to see, because I'm having a change of heart as far as how I saw his character. And at the same time, I applaud Daz Dillinger for not being illiterate to the business, man, and securing his future, because like he said, a lot of artists don't see 35 years to be able to get Pac didn't see it, Biggie didn't get to see it, and it's artists that didn't even have beef that passed away by natural causes that didn't get to see the retrieval and the ownership of the work they put in the past. So yes, I think Daz is smart. And I think Daz was also smart by not undermining his work in his legendary place in history to make his cousin happy, because his cousin doing bad business. Remember what I said at the beginning. Family and business don't mix, because family members will try to treat you like a bitch. And this is Snoop trying to treat Daz like a cold 304, man. Daz was just smart enough not to fall for the okie doke, man. But let me know what y'all think about the situation in the comments, because it's also sad to see. We grew up on Snoop. We grew up on the Dog Pound and Snoop. We grew up on that whole era of G-Funk, the Nate Dogg, and everybody included, right? So to see this right now, it's like it's just ruining a moment they shared together in the past, a run they had over bad business being dealt on behalf of one person, that being Snoop Dogg. Lock it in. It's time for that Coach for the Streets, hosted by Mafia and Pain, and we posted up on 3300 Trap Street. Ain't no news like street news. Whether you're here for the streets or you're here for the news, you gonna get this work. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hype up the video, help us get up out this shadow band, man. It's Coaching for the Streets, man. We always talking to the streets, man. I'm out.